So if you're wondering what I got going on in the bed of the truck with my winch setup, here she be. I made a bar across to go to the original mount, so I'm not drilling into the bed on either side. I took the original tie downs off and I made my own bracket. I think it's inch and a half square tubing. I don't know what the wall thickness is. Got me a $70 Harbor Freight winch. I know it's Chinesium, but at 70 bucks when they burn up, throw them away, get another one. Can't beat that. Actually, it's a pretty good winch. It's remote control, as you can see, and I got the cables, and there was a plug in my bed, and the rubber, there's a plug down, I think on the bottom or the side. I did have to drill a hole in my bed liner, but other than that, ran the wires down up to the battery. But that's it. Like I said, not a bad little setup. I like it. I did put a, you can see there is I made a shoe for the bottom back. I see that little bolt. See the little bolt, like right there, to the right of the hook. There's a shoe. All it is a piece of angle, and that keeps that whole thing from rocking down when the winch is working. You know, it wants to naturally, the torque of the winch wants to push it down, and that's it. But it pulls from the left and right. Now, like I said, we do tractors. It's a little bit of a struggle for these heavier garden tractors, but it does work good. And I do have a pulley set up in a snatch block as well to double hook up on the heavier tractors. I pull some little cheap MTDs and stuff like that up really easy, but the little heavier 600 to 700 pound garden tractors, they get a little bit much for that winch. But anyhow, we'll get back to this video on the great extravagant hunt we found. Another one we drug out of the weeds, so we'll get to that as well. Okay, so we have a Ford LGT 125 that we just picked up not too far from us, about 20-25 minutes from the house, so I can't complain, especially when it has a intact battery cover and a decent grill, a set of headlights, and I'm hoping that spindle down there is not welded or cobbled up. Now, the year is, it says serial number is a 70, so I'm going to say probably a 19, if we're looking 74 or 75, somewhere in that ballpark. Well, I thought it was a little better tractor than what I've seen on Marketplace, but for the price, I couldn't couldn't beat what I paid for it, even if it just becomes a parts tractor. Now, I know that I've known the guy from a couple years now, friends with me on Facebook. He's down at Brownsville. He has a lot of Ford like 800 series, 600 series farm tractors. He's pretty knowledgeable, pretty good guy. So I picked this up off of him. Like I said, I was hoping it would be a little bit better shape than what it is, but you know, at this point, I'm just happy that it's close to home. So it ain't killing me on the travel, because it's just I can't travel as much as I would like to. So what we're going to do is, I like, if you know me, I like original paint tractors. I think I can save this hood, and them fenders on this thing are roached, unfortunately, on this one. Too many holes. And these ones here, there's some blue in there. So I am going to work my magic like I did before and scuff it up and see what I can get out, if I can make it blue again. If not, oh well. The fender pan's in better shape than that one. So I may just scour pad these ones, Scotch Brite them. The hood's bad. The tank, it's got some rust in the bottom. Looks like surface rust. We'll have to clean that out as well. He says it ran 2 years ago, so we'll see what we could do. I'm looking for just another tractor to put my sprayer on. I have a 15-gallon sprayer, 12-volt electric pump for weeds. It's that time of the year. Come fall, I like to spray down the trails and all the knotweed and everything else we got in western Pennsylvania, getting ready for deer season here. I like to spray in September, you know, when everything starts cutting back and going dormant. So I'm hoping I can get this thing going here soon. I have a wide variety of wheels and tires and things of that nature for it. So I may put the ag tires on the Sears, and we may go from there. So who knows what we're going to get into. There'll be several different videos of this, because this is taken over a couple different days here, so and different times. So just bear with me on the videos and everything on that nature. But we'll dive into this. It ain't going to be today, and it may be a different day, but we'll try to put the video together for one big video of it. So, but yeah, all right, stay tuned, folks. Okay, we got the tractor up on the left. Now this is going to be a series of videos compiled into one. I'm time constrained with work, business, and everything. So just bear with me. You'll see me different shirts or whatever, different times of the day or whatever. So it's one video, but multiple videos, days, all that good stuff. So got the 125 up on the lift, and we're going to start tearing into it. We want to pull the fuel tank off. It's pretty crusty and rusty inside. I actually have a Walbro carburetor that I'm going to put on. One I already have rebuilt. It's got a Walbro on it now. Go over the points, put a new ignition switch in, put a new battery in, and see if we can get this old griddle light off. You know, it was the old saying, it ran 2-3 years ago. Well, we've all been down that road. We all get that. Yes, it can, but, you know, how does it run? Does it smoke? You know, what's it run? Does it knock? Who knows what it runs like? So it's in pretty decent shape. It's not real bad. So bear with me. We're going to dive into it. I already started taking off the one bracket for the fuel tank. We'll take this other one off. I take them all the way off, and I actually have another tank for it. So what we're going to do is, I hope if I put the right size wrench on. What we're going to do is, I got another tank that I cleaned out inside, and they always have pinholes in them. And it's just something that when these tractors sit out, the fuel tank cap is exposed to the elements. They always get crusty and rusty, and there's no replacement parts out there. Nobody makes another tank like that. I used to sell a plastic one, which was only 1 gallon. I could probably still get them, but they're like $60. If it's just for tractor shows, it works good. That's fine, but if you actually want to use it, 1 gallon doesn't get you very far with one of these old tractors. And this tank, I'm hoping I can save this one put some maybe vinegar, muriatic acid in it, and clean it up. It ain't real bad inside. I've seen them worse, so we will do that. I also want to put a new plug in it. That's the wrong size spark plug. Always go with a Champion H10C with those. That is the correct plug for the tractor, and you won't have any problems. No guessing. I'm not saying you can't use another plug, but again, I use what's recommended, and I've hardly had any other trouble when I listen to the manufacturers. I don't know why. There's some certain things that I understand that they want to, they get away with aftermarket. And like I said, I don't go to Ford Motor Company when I want to work on, get parts for my pickup, so I get all that. But when it comes to these little things, I just like what they say, and I've never had any problems. So I'm gonna take the screws out. And the only thing is, I'm not a big Walbro fan. They're fine. You can't get the parts for them anymore. The Carters are great. That's usually what I like on these is the Carters. But this has a Walbro, and I thought, well, I actually have a Walbro carburetor. Right here. This is the one that's going on. I rebuilt this one years ago. Same model, same everything, ready to go on there. It's actually a little newer style, but it'll still bolt up the same. A gentleman wanted one for a wheel horse. I rebuilt it, then he never came to got it. So it'll be a nice one. Usually I'm a Carter guy, but like I said, it'll be a nice one to throw on here real quick to see if we can get this old girl lit off and on the way. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I was going to hook it up for the sprayer. Like I was saying before, I don't know what I'm going to get into. I definitely am going to get it running and driving. I may just put a motor deck on it and sell it in the spring. I don't know yet. I just don't know. I get enough of these machines laying around that I may just take the sprayer that's on the trailer and just do some modifications to it. This way I can pull it behind another tractor instead of making this a sole purpose spray tractor. I don't know yet. Gets to the point where I had so many and I sold some, and it was nice not having so many tractors to work on, and then I go and buy this one, then I go and buy I got a Cub Cadet, a really good deal on a Cub Cadet Original, and I really didn't want the Cub Cadet Original, and I'll show you that here on this video as well, but the price was too good to pass up, and my buddy gave me a Cub Cadet, which was his and his mother's since we were kids, and I worked on that before, and all that stuff. It's like, oh man, I need that like a hole in the head, but I picked it up. Now, you see it has the thick gasket on this. These came with, depending, and I don't know what the reason or rhyme was on these, but they had a thick gasket. I don't know if you guys can see whether there's a thick gasket, then this one's thin. You only needed the one. And these are in good shape, so I'm going to clean that up. There's no chunks missing, and probably the reason why is because someone had this on there. The original motor would have had a Carter carburetor, not this Walbro. So somebody definitely put the Walbro on later on and just added all that. All I do is to clean it up a little bit, make sure there's no chunks. If there's chunks, then I get the scraper out, scrape it off really good, and put a new gasket on it. But these old gaskets, like this one in particular, they seem pretty good. So I clean them up, get all the gunk off of them, put a little bit of gasket shellac on them, very little, just enough to make a new sealing surface, and then I bolt it on and away we go. Again, I haven't pulled the cylinder head on this. We may have to, I don't know. I know probably gonna have to pull the points and clean that up, I'm sure. Like I said, he said it's been sitting for a couple years. What does that mean? Well, a couple, anybody's like me, I'm not saying this on purpose or derogatory, but if anybody's like me, when they say a couple, 9 times out of 10, a couple turns into about 4. And that's just my, how I am with it, because sometimes I don't realize how fast time goes. So I don't mean that derogatory to to anybody out there who says it ran a couple years ago. Well, a couple turns into 5, 10 pretty quick. So I squirt everything with a coat of oil. Yes, if you're noticing, this is why these slots are in these bolts, to make this nice and easy to put these carbs on. Wish all engineers were like this back in the day. They were some of the things they designed, but now the engineers they're not allowed to use what they were taught and what they can figure out. It's all about money in the cheapest way possible. Not so much the best way, but the cheapest way. And that's the problem we have today with a lot of stuff. But these things, there's really not a whole lot to them. I may get into a video of rebuilding one of these carbs. I do need to do that. Like I said, Walbros, you can't get the parts for them anymore. They want you to buy a brand new Walbro carb. You can't get the rebuild kits for them anymore. Which is annoying. I'm going to lubricate this choke cable up. God knows the last time it's seen any oil. If it even works, we may have to replace it altogether. Let's check it out. Make sure it actually... Oh no, I'm surprised it actually works. That's good. That's actually a good thing. So if anybody is interested in doing this kind of stuff, if this dummy can do it, you guys can do it too, trust me. I've been doing this quite some time now, messing with these old Fords and tractors in general. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I do enjoy it. Alright. Everything seems to be hunky-dory on that end. Do some lubing up in there, and I'm going to pull them points apart and see how that works too. So there you go. So to reinstall a wall bruh. Alright, so now let's take the points cover off. And this still got the straight screws on it. And for my tractors, I always put I have a set of those Allen screws that are the same thread size, same diameter size, and I like to put them on so I can put it on a Allen wrench and get them in there a little better. Now, I don't know, hopefully we don't have to put new points on it, we can just clean them up, but I figure they're pretty corroded, and they are. Supposed to take a file, get in there and clean them up real good. Or I just take a piece of emery cloth. Something that won't leave grit. Something that won't leave grit. So we're going to leave this cover off so you can see all the corrosion on there. We may have to just get new, a file would be good too. Fingernail file. I have yet to buy a new one yet since the garage burned down. I had always would steal the wife's and she'd get new ones, and them work great. The little fingernail files work great in there. But I don't know. These look pretty bad. These look pretty corroded. I might have to put a new set of points on it and not worry about it. We'll see. See if we get sparky. They look better, but you see there's a These points are pretty old, so we're gonna probably end up putting new ones on, but we'll see. We'll go this route first. Less money we put into it, the happier we are, right? That's the name of the game. So we got that done. Now I gotta put an ignition switch in. So I got an ignition switch, and it has a notch in it. And these Fords have I'll show you. They have that little notch in it. Now, apparently, I got the older style with there's a notch in it, but I don't think it's gonna line up. Oh, yes it does. Look at that. Perfect. I did grab the right one. How about that? Lucky me. Lucky me. So there was a time when it's very hard to find aftermarket switches with the correct, because Kohler used different switches for different applications, and everybody was different. There wasn't just, that's why there's so many different ignition switches, and people would put the wrong ones in and it didn't work. You can't use the Briggs one and for Kohlers, and then the Kohler ones had different, every manufacturer had a different, even if it was a Kohler, they had a different wiring setup. So depending on what they had, everything was different. That's why these ignition switches are very specific to this. So we'll get this tightened up, and then we'll be in business. And so these are the ones I found that work. Apparently, them ain't the right size socket. So apparently, hey, Yahtzee. Yeah, so every manufacturer, even if it was a Kohler, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for your application. Now, for generally speaking, they did. They just may not fit the dash, or everything was different on everything. So some things is what it is. You can modify it or whatever. Now, what's funny is, any of you see how this is loose? Well, your ground's hooked here. If you can see, your ground's hooked up to it for your battery. If you don't tighten that down, you ain't gonna get nothing. In fact, I got a bolt missing. So, yeah. So put the camera back up. We'll get a bolt put in there and get everything tightened down. All happy. So, yeah, some things are just yeah. I sold new battery cables on the website. I still have some. So if you need correct length battery cables, hit me up. Or whatever. But that's a very big culprit. People are like, oh no, it won't run. I ain't got good spark. I don't have this. And grounds are very, very important on a machine. You have to make sure they're nice and clean. Everything needs to work, because the battery ignition is how you get your spark. And if you don't have a good ground and a good system, it ain't going to spark that great. You won't get the proper ignition you need. It's very, that's very, very important, and it's very common to overlook it. These tractors aren't so bad because the motor is directly bolted right to the frame. But the other tractors, like the closed-sided, they have the individual mounts because of the vibration, and the government steps in and says you got to have something that's nice and soft for people so their butts don't get numb and all that other good stuff. And I think my camera just fell. Okay, fuel tank's on. It's new spark plug, coil, pointer, condenser, all that. All right, contact. Maybe. Look at the choke do. Alright, choke isn't happy. Choke isn't happy, is it? She needs to get some more work with it. Some more little. Had spark. Almost. Yay! Cleaned out all the mouse houses and dust and good lord. Alright. Too much. Whoopsie. Well, she runs. Not bad. I can't complain too much. You like a dummy. Played with the spark a little too much and shut it off. But hey, that's pretty darn cool. as far as I'm concerned, I got it running and driving, and I'm excited about it. Don't mind my Bermuda shorts. It was a very hot day in Pennsylvania today, and I gotta jump in the pool once in a while. And thought, oh, I'm gonna jump in there, feel a little better, then come back out and finish this up. So we will button this thing back up, get her all dialed in and tuned in and all that good stuff. But that's it. Sat in the weeds or in the barn or wherever the guy had it for supposedly 2 years or whatever. But so runs good, doesn't smoke, which I'm happy. I didn't have to pull the cylinder head. I'm not a big Walbro fan on them carbs. I like my Carters better, but these will work. Get them dialed in. Play with this a little bit, get my points set where I want to, adjust my throttle as well. Now on these Fords, I will say, if you want more RPM, you can see, let me move this light here so people can see a little better. If you want more RPM on these, adjust the spring on any Kohler, adjust the spring down to the bottom notch. You could also adjust this spring here as well. That'll help your throttle in and out, slower, higher RPM, whatever your suit is. They're very adjustable. So regardless, you have a wide range of what you want your setting, whether you're mowing grass or just putting around or whatever you want. So you can get max RPM and everything depending on what you want to do. But that'll end up doing it for this video. So we got it running. We'll probably do another one on this, getting this thing all buttoned up, take it for a ride and a drive and all that good stuff. But we definitely want to take a sneak peek at this as well. Yeah, yep, it ain't blue. I picked this up not too long ago, and I wish I'd have done more of a video on it. But we're going to do some stuff on this tractor as well. And I already started. Again, should have been taking a video of it, but we'll get to it eventually. There's a couple more things I want to do, like adjust valves and everything else on it. So that's just a sneak peek. We'll get to that one here as well. That's got the original K161 7 horsepower. I know, I'm excited about that. And little buggers in it, runs good, other than the valves ticking a little bit. All right, so if you like these videos and you're like, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the share button, all that good stuff. And we'll be seeing you on the next one. Thank you.